And we're live.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to the YellowTieGuy Fireside Chat. You may remember you may remember some faces from last week, and there's a new face, Emma. I hear you're trying to steal the YellowTieGuy band.
No, I'm not stealing anything. I am, we are, what is it? Imitation is the highest form of flattery, Mr. Yellow Tie Guy. So, I'm just here to revel in the awkwardness with you, my friend. We're here for it.
You may remember.
So she wants people who look just like us.
I'm trying to imitate your dashing good looks. I'm not gonna lie. Especially Jamie's beard is like on my go-to list. One of these days I will get there.
Jamie's beard is a unique band member. That's the fifth.
I just
the fifth
trimmed
Beatle
off.
here.
I just trimmed it before we started, about just a quarter, well, half inch or so. It even it
You
up.
can tell.
He likes to look good on camera. Now that we're doing these,
I got a
these
haircut
events, he
too.
has
Look at
to
that.
clean up.
It used to go below the zoom frame, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah. No, it was
Yeah,
several inches longer. I trimmed it off because it gets warm in the summer. It also gets to the point when it gets long enough that I'm sleeping, it'll get caught under my arm and I'll yank and pull myself awake. So I had to cut off the ponytail too. Same thing. It would get caught while I was sleeping and jerked awake like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? That was just me sleeping funny, pulling on my
So you're
hair.
waking yourself up.
But I mean, I work around. I play with a lot of tools, and I'm always terrified that like beard or hair or something you got caught in something and just.
That and a weed whacker.
Every time I'm operating a saw of some kind, I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
So last week we talked about maybe me being electrocuted because my daughter getting out of the bathtub and then trying to like climb in my lap with all of the computer equipment, like surrounded by all this electrical stuff. And now this week we learned that Jamie's beard gets caught in something, and that's how he goes. So maybe next week we'll find out everybody else's fortune.
Okay, so serious question. How R-rated is this fireside chat?
It's marked
Oh, we're
for
definitely
children,
definitely not for children, but
and we're not making any money, so we don't have to worry about being demonetized.
Okay, the only reason I ask is because as far as like dangerous things go, like I have definitely lit my hair on fire before, accidentally while having a good time. So
Too many candles in the room.
no, I'm just not very good with spatial awareness.
so
Awkward.
so maybe pyrotechnics is the way to go for you. That's
Or not.
Or not. Or not.
it's okay. You can keep it safe with all of the lasers and all of the fancy lighting opportunities
Lasers.
now.
Don't forget the bubble machine. I'm all about that bubble life.
Bubbles.
Yes.
So I did talk to Joey about some sort of possible cross collaboration here. Kyle is the one that I think is most surprised by. Like I'm in YellowTieGuy and now I'm like trying to be inducted into the MG Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But the idea of getting together and learning each other's songs and backing each other up and having another acoustic or electric guitar or Joey on drums and Eric on percussion,
That'd
there's
be awesome.
some wide, wonderful worlds that could happen there.
This is the thing, man. Like, I think part of what 2020, one of the silver linings for 2020 for me has been, like, there's been such an opportunity for us to really look at how we have potentially been fucking up with how we manage our, manage music, and like it's so competitive. It's so this, that, and the other thing. It's like, well, actually, the only way we're going to get out of anything is together. And so, like, I'm super pumped about this concept of, joining forces and combining superpowers and like doing something powerful. I think it'll be fun.
Doing stuff.
We're almost as good as your favorite band.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, our goal is to be everybody's second favorite band, because we can't compete with obviously their favorite band. Everyone's got their favorite band, and I'll bet every single person in this room right now has a favorite band that isn't anyone they've ever been in. But
Right.
I don't know if I do have a favorite band.
what?
I don't have
Really?
any favorite bands. Yeah, like because I grew up with such a
That's true. You don't
diverse-
know what music is. You know how to make music, but you don't know
Yeah.
like like it's so weird. Like
That is not true. That is
Okay.
not true.
you were telling me that you'd never listened to R&B, and what was the other
That
thing?
is one subset. No, that's not completely true. I haven't listened to R&B to the extent that people in America have listened to R&B. Like R&B in New Zealand, like you've never heard of Shea Fu, for example. You've never heard of King Kapisi. Yeah, like the music, the R&B that I grew up with, the hip hop that I grew up with is just a different flavor because I grew up in a different country. So like my flavor of R&B is like Tony Braxton and I obviously grew up listening to Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. and like that kind of stuff. But I don't. If you went into like the I don't even know, like there is so much depth to R&B in this country that I have no idea about because it didn't reach New Zealand. That's
What makes me wonder now about other genres that you may have missed out on some amazing stuff that I just feel like I should just.
Americana is like I don't know Americana.
Yeah.
I feel your judgy eyes on me right now.
I mean,
Well, at some point, when does a subgenre become, its own genre? Because to me, I always felt like you have kind of like rock, which then derives from blues, and you've got funk, which kind of derives from jazz, and so to me, Americana is kind of where country goes when it doesn't want to have a Southern accent anymore.
Or rock
Right.
does.
we always joked in Crooked Crow that if Bruce had even just the slightest bit of twang, our songs would have been so country. Because that really was a lot of very Americana sounding music we played there. Not quite as folky as Dreamscape Project, but
But then at one point, that was just rock. Like Neil Young was Americana before Americana was Americana.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was just rock music.
Yep.
I mean, when I was in primary school, we had like my school principal was not your normal school principal, and so every Friday at assembly we would sing, Hotel California and Blue Suede Shoes, Yellow Submarine, and
But then at one point, that was just rock.
various
Neil Young
other
was
rock sort of
Americana before
probably
Americana
really
was
inappropriate
Americana.
for young
But at
children.
the time, it
Like
was just rock.
knocking on
Hotel
Heaven's Door was one. Knocking on Heaven's Door, like a whole bunch of elementary children singing that, super healthy. But like that was the extent of my Americana knowledge. Was I knew who Bob Dylan was. I knew who like Neil Young. I learned who Neil Young was when I was maybe 19. It's just a different world.
Right.
I'll just Taka chants and
Yeah.
rugby matches, right?
Haka chants and rugby matches. Yeah, that's pretty. No, we're gonna have a battle off one day. Let's do a battle off Americana versus Kiwi music, and we'll see what happens.
We should learn each other's stuff.
Hey, one of my favorite bands is New Zealanders. I mean, the Flight of the Conchords.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
I mean, they really are one of my. I love everything they've ever done.
you want to talk about awkward, Daniel? You want to talk about awkward? I took my ex-boyfriend to go see the Flight of the Conchords, and he'd never really heard of them, and I was like, okay, this is quintessential me. Like, you need to know this band. And the entire time through, he goes, "This explains so much about your sense of humor."
Right. Yeah.
And he did not enjoy it in the slightest. I was like, okay,
It's business time.
we're done here, right? Seriously.
I thought you were going to say, like, get ready to talk about awkward, like, that you are the last surviving member. Like,
Or there's some sort of like awkward story with she hooked up with one of the guys from there or something.
No.
I don't know. When you said awkward, I was like, oh, this could be interesting.
No,
I mean, it's a
no.
small island. You all know each other, right?
Just because we have more sheep than people does not mean we all know each other.
It's good to have a little distance between your neighbors sometimes.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, I think that's one of the things that New Zealand does do well is that we do have distance between our neighbors, but that kind of makes us know our neighbors even better. Whereas here, we're all piled on top of one another, like, don't fucking talk to me.
Right.
It's terrible.
Well, the
My sister-
pandemic has helped, give people the itch to be social again. So, if you,
Yeah, I'm super happy. We our apartment building just came out with a newsletter today saying that those of us who are fully vaccinated can now, go maskless, in the area. What a ride, guys! What a ride.
Mhm.
I mean, it seems like that news means that things are getting better. That's great. That is fantastic. Seems like the larger DMV venues are still on hold for a couple of months, maybe with shows coming out in September-ish.
I mean, how large are we talking? Like Anthem, yeah, September, October.
Yeah, that's kind of that vibe. I mean, I know that you're playing a number of shows in the area. We're live, so you can tell us what you have coming up if you want.
Oh my gosh, I have a zillion, billion, million things happening. I don't even know.
Yeah,
But yeah.
description of this, I put you down as one of the hardest working musicians in DC because I really think you are at this point. It's amazing how much you do.
Really? I don't know. I do things.
You do all the things.
There's Emma G asleep, and then there's Bangarang. Like, just
To be fair, I
To be
do now take Sundays off, more or less. Most Sundays I do take off. My partner is really big on like me because he's a workaholic as well. He runs a self-defense school and he's always on the clock. But now we're kind of like have this rule of like, no, we're gonna make sure that we have a dedicated day of just breathing. But yeah, so this coming weekend I'm playing at Village Bro House on Friday and Roadside. No, that's not my calendar. I'm playing at Village Bro's house at some point this coming weekend. Everything and everything is happening all the time.
all the time.
All the time. I'm looking at my calendar going, oh, I have a gig tonight. Oh, that's right. I'm on YellowTieGuy's Fireside chat. That's exciting.
What am I missing?
So I'm at Village Bro House on Friday. On Saturday, I'm at Roadside Grill. On Sunday, I'm taking a day off. But next Wednesday, I'm playing at the Renegade in Arlington. On Friday, the following Friday, Fire Brew Live with Joey. And then on Saturday, I'll be in Silver Spring because on Sunday, it's obviously the long weekend, so at Bungalow Lake House with Joey. And then on Monday, we have a private function. And the following weekend, I've got more gigs, followed by a much-needed three-day getaway to Virginia Beach
Very nice.
with my boo
I
thing.
played in February of 2020 before we all
Right.
and that was it, I think. In the last.
Yeah.
What do we have going on?
What's that?
Freaking COVID.
Said, what do we have going on?
Yeah,
So, recording.
Yeah,
Recording.
Lots and lots of recording.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Got a bunch of songs in the can. Got to get a couple tracks from Daniel for a couple more, and a bunch of stuff in the pre-production.
What does it mean to have something in the can?
In the can is completed. They used to take film reels and seal
Yeah.
them in a.
It ants.
Yeah,
They were
literally
in
the
steel
big metal
canisters.
round cans the film reels went in. Those are called. That's where it comes from.
So
Okay.
when it was in the can, there was no more work left to do.
It's Hollywood,
so,
baby.
Hollywood, yeah. So
Gotcha.
we've got.
There's more of a release strategy. So sort of like you can have something completed, but your plan is not to release it for another 3-4 weeks or whatever.
So if you mention the can in New Zealand, it means the toilet. So
Do you call these cans too?
These
Or
are-
no?
no, those are headphones.
I mean,
Is it
we refer to
people-
toilets as cans here as
toilet
well, but
here?
it's a multi-use word. I mean, I've got can of tuna, got the cans on your headphones,
Right.
got can in the bathroom, got
Can of worms,
Yeah.
see, open a can of worms talking about cans.
right?
I love-
There's also other prayers for cans.
We love plays on
Oh, yeah.
words here in YellowTieGuy.
Oh, I see what you did. I see what you did,
We're all
Daniel.
about that.
That's brilliant. Brilliant.
And then DC Music Summit. Which
Oh,
day
gosh.
are you teaching then? Because you didn't mention that, and I want to remind you that that's a thing you're doing in case you forgot.
I mean, dude, like, I just talked about my gigs. That's all. DC Music Summit, super pumped. I'm presenting a masterclass on writing music with a message on Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Super excited about that because, as you know, like my entire purpose is to save the world one song at a time. And so it's about, helping just give some feedback and some strategies and some thoughts and ideas on how other songwriters can dig deeper into their messages. I think, again, 2020 has presented a really beautiful opportunity for artists to kind of recognize the power of their voices and the impact they can have as creators. And sometimes we get a little bit freaked out at the concept of how the fuck to do that. So that's what the masterclass is about. Tomorrow I'm back in the studio recording myself, but not recording music. I'm recording my audiobook. Just doing the things.
Daniel, you're writing a book too, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about for DC Music Summit. I'm trying to catch up to Emma. Emma's faster than me, so I feel like I'm like an ideas guy, So I'm like, I've got an idea. I'll write a book, and Emma's like, just finished doing one of those.
Just wrote a
Working
book.
off a second.
I love you, Daniel. I love you.
No, I think it's good to have that kind of co-opetition. Is like, all of the peers in the in the DC scene that are trying to step up their game to show their mentorship and leadership are writing books. Like, better finish mine quick, or there won't be anything left to talk about.
Yeah.
But
cool.
I am excited because the DC Music Summit to me is I'm really like halfway through writing, and I feel like that this is a really unique opportunity to get in front of an audience and talk about the concepts in a really succinct amount of time, and explore then what components the people in attendance really vibrate with and needs more attention inside of writing the later chapters in the book. And it will still be helpful. It's not like, he wrote half a book, we're going to get half a presentation. So
No, it's a thing. I mean, my friend from back in New Zealand, we were chatting on Snapchat one day, and I'm just silly. I'm just crazy. That's all it is. He gave me the idea to write a book in October last year, and by the end of November, it was written. So I just went ham. I was like, okay, cool, let's go, do it. But I mean, obviously, writing is one thing. I'm really excited about the audiobook side of things, although I feel kind of awkward about it because my voice, my accent is so peculiar that I'm a little bit self-conscious.
watch you sell like triple your book sales. The audiobook will be like up here, book sales will be like right here. Just sell triple
Maybe.
the audiobooks.
Everybody will be like, oh, that accent, ooh.
He'll be doing everybody's audio. He'll be doing the voiceover for everybody's
Right.
audio from now on.
You'll be
Oh.
reading the forewords to other people's audiobooks.
I love it. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited for your presentation, Daniel. When are you presenting?
I'm Sunday morning at 11 a.m. It'll be just like the good old days back in church, just Sunday morning services.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
What time did you say?
Sunday morning at 11 a.m. That's 11 a.m. your time, which for those of you playing along at home is 9 a.m. Mountain. So that means I've really got to get my coffee in before the presentation.
We believe in you, Daniel. We
So,
believe in you.
tell me about the Capital Groove Collective.
Are you talking to me or to Daniel?
Both of you.
The CEO or the founder?
Well, Soli is the CEO. I think I'm VP of marketing. I think that's
Okay.
think that's my official title.
Okay, that's yes. I think you're right. I think you're right. Right. So it's a funny story, Jamie. Um, when I first moved to DC, I went straight ham into like busking and building something for myself musically. Um, it became very clear to me how much competition there is in DC or the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And I never really saw my approach as that. Like I've been very blessed and, you know, the community that have rallied around me to help me support my goals and my drive has been huge. And so one of the positives that came from a not so positive relationship was that this person I was dating um, told me, you know, gave me this idea about creating a more organized community of musicians whose sole purpose was to empower and um, help one another in terms of the different facets of the business. Because as we all know, being a musician is so hard. There's so many different aspects to the business. So I thought at the time, well, shit, I don't have the bandwidth to do that. But after, you know, a lot of nagging from him, I finally sort of put some ideas together and put some heads together, and it's now grown into this beautiful collective of humans that where diversity is like one of our superpowers, and you know we are really big on not just entertainment but an education and an advocacy. So we're a bunch of musicians who write music and perform music that has a purpose, has a message, and is wanting to make a positive change in the world. But we're also about empowering one another and educating one another and growing together and, you know, all that fun stuff. Okay, cool. I'm done speaking. Daniel.
Well, give the guys a chance to comment or question, follow up, you know.
No stalling, Daniel.
I mean, I think that it provides, you know, all of those things that Emma said. And I think there's an accountability level to just say, you know, the expectation of consistency, of quality, of supporting each other, of, you know, also then from my side, I also see it's like giving people space and time. Like sometimes people need to get away, and that doesn't mean that they're not, you know, still involved or not interested, but, you know, like people need to live a life. And so people need to know that there's support there. And I think it's special. It's like everybody showing up to the same yoga class. We all see each other like every day. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. No.
I did yoga this morning, actually. It was freaking painful. But yes, carry on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like seeing each other at the same gym, like doing the same workouts, or like kind of being in the same support group. You know, hi, my name is Dan, and I'm a chocoholic.
Chocolate.
You know, we can kind of show an opportunity for artists to do something that is as a group, supporting each other independently, and then bringing in that advocacy component. And I always talk about growing people into being an authority in their field, which doesn't happen overnight. And there's no, you know, switch you can flip. It's just got to be a slow sequential progress. So I think that the group is established that it's here to stay and that it's willing to adapt to changes in the DC scene, willing to adapt to like changes in needs of membership and you know, other musicians in the community. And it's not closed off just because there's a couple people who have agreed to be working together towards a common goal either. Mm-hmm. So it's powerful.
Together we rise.
And I know several of the people in it, and also a very diverse style too. The music that's coming out of that is very diverse as well.
Yeah, that's a big thing from my perspective, because you know, as a New Zealander that looks black, living in America, you know, I have been so typecast in so many ways. But my music background is like in hard rock, and like I hung out with the heavy metal crowd for a long time. And when I talk about like heavy metal, I'm talking about like black metal through to, like 3 inches of blood type black metal to, Iron Maiden sort of hard rock stuff. And then, now I do obviously more pop rock, goddess rock stuff. But because of that, I think for me, I really wanted to make sure that we recognize as a society, as a community, especially in the DMV, how diversity feeds itself, and how the only good things can happen when diverse genres combine and join forces and grow together. Yep. It's a total superpower.
Diversity of people, diversity of genre, and the fact that it is again DMV, which I think is still important. Like I don't see DC itself as a closed off, couple blocks of where like arts happen. It bleeds into and out of, and it can't. The Northern Virginia region and the areas in Maryland right around the Beltway, they can't help but be affected by all of that. And so I feel like YellowTieGuy is literally, the music of the region, and certainly not just an influence of, music from Waldorf or music from Fairfax, even though obviously that's, there is some music and arts.
That crazy Waldorf music scene.
I mean, Good Charlotte came out of Waldorf. That's usually the first band everybody thinks of.
That's true. The only thing Fairfax can boast is better than Ezra.
Oh, okay.
Well, Fairfax also gets, and I like to use this when I talk about the Fat Tuesday pictures that nobody is sending us. I found mine, by the way. I posted it on IG earlier. So, but not a photo of the outside, just an old photo I found of YellowTieGuy doing something at Fats. But comedian Mike Birbiglia talks about getting his start at Fat Tuesdays, and
really?
And I think that's an incredible, small world kind of thing, because I love his comedy, I love his message, and there's something like about his storytelling that just makes everything about his routine so pure. So a big fan.
I also want to add in, you forgot to mention, I think, diversity of ethnicity. Did you say that?
I mean, I think so. I think it said just diversity in people, diversity in identity. Yeah.
Especially with the Waldorf crowd,
Apologize. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but Jen is screaming at the TV upstairs because the Caps game on. I guess they just did something wrong.
I think they just went into overtime.
She's like, "Oh, come on, guys!" I'm like, "Whoa!"
Live updates here. See, you're not missing it. It's still happening. So, Emma, definitely really appreciate you coming on as a guest, being as busy as you are, and making the time to come and hang out with us. We really do appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all. So there we go.
We are four like white guys trying to set a good example in all things. So thank you for joining us and giving us a chance to share, you with our fans and share a little bit about our co-opetition and our overlapping endeavors to try to be mentors inside of Capital Group Collective and other DMV artists. That's all part of the YellowTieGuy Make Friends, Make Music, and Make a Difference motto anyway. And so it fits right in. Before we go, we would like to close with a clip that Jamie has of a song that we're working on right now.
I love it.
All right, I apologize. This is a very rough basement recording with my terrible vocals. There's a reason Daniel's lead singer. And some shaky guitar worker. Let's see if I can figure out how to share the screen and go to the audio and share. Okay.
So this is one of the ones we're going to try to record.
What are we about to
all right, this song is called Jersey Girl. Song I wrote for Jen when we first started dating, and she was living in New Jersey. I was here. And
so this is what we're going to be working on next in the studio. We're going to be trying to figure out what format and what the orchestration will be, and This is a rough cut from back.
Oh
in
yeah,
the day.
apologize for the horribly rough. This is
It's like a
setting my
demo.
iPhone on the desk. This is Jeremy Miller from ex-Crow guitar player. Came over. He, I kind of banged it on the keyboard what I wanted it to sound like, and he actually played guitar parts for it because I can't play guitar. I know 2 chords. Lots of A scales, but no chords. E minor and G. I got those.
You should read in that.
If those 2 chords work together for a song, I'd be set.
You can make it
Anyway.
happen.
This is called Jersey Girl. You guys hear it? Apologize for the terrible vocals. I'm letting you know. Late night chats that turn to talk. Marathon phone calls, no big shock. Cause we clicked all kinds of fast. When you came to see me, I'm glad I asked.
Do an Americana version.
No, this is brilliant. So the last song we did,
Strangers
we
meet
kind of
by
took 10 minutes
human
of
stance. We
we
could have missed it, a lucky chance.
We-
Friend of a
we
friend,
right
we
here.
meet at last. We could have known I'd fall so fast. For a Jersey, New Jersey girl, a Jersey, New Jersey girl, a Jersey, New Jersey girl, falling for a Jersey girl.
Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah. Oh, you should hear the bridge. It's fantastic.
That's amazing.
There
That's
you have it,
amazing.
folks.
But anyway, so
Uh,
that's the next thing I want to work on. Bring this to the band and see if we can.
I know 3 people who are gonna love that.
Only 3?
No,
Crap.
I mean not from New Jersey.
I want to wear my Vans and fall on my ass off of my skateboard to that. music video.
Yes.
I know. I
I
want
can
that
already
to.
see the video.
What's wrong with Vans?
Yeah.
Take it back. I like my Vans.
No, I just think the music video to me it would just be me falling off of different things with the wheels.
You know what? I'll start storyboarding that right
And you
now.
just going like this, like at 1 mile an hour on a skateboard like this.
Yeah,
I got a spare
pretend
longboard around here somewhere. We can make this happen.
Somebody's pulling me along on their, like behind their car,
In the back of their pickup.
right? It's gonna have to be in Lower Fairfax. Got to stay off the main roads.
Yes. Bring a whole new level of fame to Fairfax.
Absolutely, right next to Fat Tuesdays. We got to swing by there on our way.
I don't know, Kyle. What beach are you going to?
I'm going to the Outer Banks.
Yeah,
Hatters.
just go in the Hatters. There's plenty of room down there. Just get behind the car. Behind the
We're
truck.
not.
Yes,
We're not gonna take his family vacation.
Yeah, Eric. Settle down, Eric. Well, he just got out of that cave from last week, so he's.
I mean, we could probably do it down at the boardwalk in Chesapeake Beach, North Beach. I kind of hung out around there anyway. There's probably no skateboarding signs, but once we explain we're just shooting a movie, I'm sure everything will be fine.
Do you know
We have
who
all
I
the permits.
Craziness.
Thank you again, Emma, for being on the show. We
You
won't
guys
take
are
up
awesome.
Yeah, we
I
got
any more of
appreciate
your
you.
evening.
Going a few minutes over, but in tribute of Emma, who is going fast all the time. Let's. I want to show you my favorite GIF. That's Sanic. You guys will see it when you watch back the.
Okay.
We'll
I don't
trust
see
you.
it.
We'll trust you.
Should we be laughing or
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's Sanic, not Sonic the Hedgehog. Sanic the Hedgehog.
We'll see it on the rebroadcast.
You'll see it on the
or
rebroadcast at the
replay.
end there. All right,
Thank you guys for having
to
me.
the 9
Really
people who watched
appreciate
us
it.
tonight, thanks so much for hanging out with us. And
Thanks for hanging out.
and if you're catching this on a replay, thanks for sticking around to the end. We do try and keep it to half an hour, so you're not wasting all your day. But a few minutes over. But thanks so much.
Talk
Thanks,
soon.
so.
Later, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Emma. All right. Are we clear?